Okay, I'm going to try to do this all in just one cut because it is 11:41 and I want to get this video uploaded within the April 9th timeline I set for myself. But yes, so the idea with this video is that I haven't made a YouTube video in 365 days basically, and I told myself I wouldn't let it get to be, a day past that, which I guess the math works out that it's already been 365, but April 9th, that was my deadline. So instead of just releasing some random new tutorial, like I said, I didn't mean to not make YouTube videos for the past year. I just didn't. I got busy. So rather than just making a tutorial, I thought I would just show you what I did instead for the past 365 days. And it's a bunch of stuff. A lot of it I've never shared before. A lot of it I don't post on Instagram. There's still some projects that I still couldn't even share. But I think this by the day pretty well encompasses exactly what happened the last 365 days for me. Each day is like 3 seconds. So when I'm busy, the video gets a little bit busy, and there's a couple little dead periods, especially around the holidays where there's not as much happening. But follow along, and at the end, I'll tell you exactly how much money I made and leave you with some parting thoughts. So on April 9th, 2024, I posted the hot sauce tutorial and I had some AC problems. Then I had a call with a guy who was pretty lame, had no budget. He also said he didn't watch the eclipse, which had happened early in the week, which I thought was extra lame. This all is a project I was working on for Rewind. It's like an AI thing that records you. Kind of a cool project. Also, we were watching our friend's dog Clifford, and I started working on a lot of stuff for Masterforge. And then the Rewind pendant launched, got a couple million views on Twitter. Here's some Earth Day stuff I was working on for Kane, that shoe there. And then it was Blender Conference, and there's Nathan Duck, there's Will Gibbons, and there's Tanner Payton and Nathan again. Had a great time. I didn't get the memo about the green shirts, but then I flew back home to my dog. Had a call with Nate and Damien, some college buddies, about a puzzle they were launching. Had a call with Dave, aka Half Cab King, about working with Fatty Pack, which is my company you'll see a lot more of. Had a couple calls about projects that may or may not happen, all the while working on a lot of stuff for Masterforge. One of the projects with KCL launched for his company Good Secrets, and we started working on that. And then Linda from Iger, who had previously reached out about a project that I was not available for, reached out about this one for Garnier, and I did have time, and it was a pretty quick turnaround, but we needed to render these oily bubbles. Working on more Good Secrets stuff. Also launched a can out of my leaf blower around this day. More oily hair stuff. This was kind of fun. The other project with Jason Cooper did not end up going through, but kept staying busy with Masterforge stuff. That's that kind of Cybertruck looking electronic device. And got close to finishing up this Bubbles project. Did a little bit of geometry notes for it. Then my buddy James Connors reached out for a project he was working on for his company. And if you missed it, Shark Tank actually also reached out to Fatty Pack. And then I delivered this animation for James. I won't say anything else about the Shark Tank thing, but that was quite the experience. Working on more animations for the Masterforge Caracorder. I'm now a part of that company. My buddy Alex Bratt reached out for some work, but he always reaches out a little too late. Sorry, Alex, didn't have time. And then I had a call with a guy named Randy. There's us watching a few dogs. So Randy was a cool dude who had a project he was working on with Gatorade for another company. Then I had a call with Obriana from Bring Your Own Laptop, which is an online learning platform. And then I went to Charleston. Fatty Pack bought a booth at the High Tide Music Festival, and I got to meet Kevin for the first time, who was my Fatty Pack co-founder, and I also launched Grav Grip on Kickstarter with him many years ago. And then we spent the last few days in Charleston just kind of chilling, enjoying it. There's Caitlin showing me how good she can swim. Flew back to Austin, got some smash burgers, and wrapped up the Good Secrets project and kicked off the sequel Gatorade project. It was just part of another video. It was mostly live action, but then they wanted this Gatorade thing in the middle. I said I wasn't going to do fluid dynamics because the budget wasn't that high, but Randy was so cool and the fluid dynamics were so fun. I ran into my friend Caroline at a coffee shop, did some animations of, there's a lot going on right now. Dogs fighting, dogs chilling, more Masterforge stuff. I think I've mentioned previously Timberland reached out on Instagram. Here's me trying to show the difference between 1D switches and 3D switches, which Caracorder products have. Very nice. and a lightning bolt chip. Then I had another call with Dan and Obriana about Blender stuff. They have a YouTube channel, Bring Your Own Laptop, and more animation / stuff for Masterforge, more development on the puzzle for Nate and Damien, my college friends. Here's me trying to do geometry node stuff. Still don't really know what I'm doing with that. And more experiments. Bought a Lone Star beer soap, which actually did not have Lone Star in it, which I was a little disappointed of. My cane project launched on Behance, and then it got banned. And then we drove to Alabama, and then we drove to North Carolina, and then the cane project got unbanned and featured. But unfortunately, the monitor that I had shipped to my in-laws' house to work on while we were there broke, so I had to get a bunch more. Then it was July 4th, Happy America. And then I started the design series with Fatty Pack, where we're like designing custom Fatty Packs. You'll see a bunch more of those. I think we're on like day like 20 something now. That was the first one. Chilling. There's my father-in-law. Ate some dank food. Timberland's starting to kind of pick up a little bit, and finishing up some of the stuff with Nate and Damien. That was my dog Lyndon. Saw a deer. More design videos. Drove to my college town, Boone. I was able to walk right into the building. I don't think I was supposed to. I could actually get into the wood shop too, which sounds kind of dangerous. There's Black Cat. There's Hannah and Jamie at Kobo. Great place if you're in Boone. There's Garrett from Nordstick. He was showing me the sliders. Went to a roller coaster place, Carowinds, I think it's called, or something like that. We had to put down the family dog, Lucy, very sad. We decided on a summer challenge for Fatty Pack, which was to run a 5K, and whoever loses has to get a face tattoo. Also, I was working on all these animations for this fitness product that was a Garrett's product for his company, Nordstick. So anyways, during this time, I started doing a lot of running, but just enough to make social media videos. So like I wasn't actually practicing running. Then we drove home to see my parents in Cary, North Carolina. A lovely time with them. And we were back in Lake Norman area to make more Fatty Pack videos, and kicked off another project with my friend Hunter and Sinon. And here's me chasing my dog around with a cardboard cutout of herself that was from our wedding that was at my in-laws' house. And here's where I kicked off the Fatty Pack Fatty Fortune series, which unfortunately has not stuck around. We did kick off that ore project, and we also kicked off a project with Lens to Recycle. It's for like a competition pitch, recycle your contact lenses type of product. This was the final animation. There was Lyndon, my dog, in the car, ready to go back home to Texas. And around this time, I delivered the final animation to Nate and Damien so that they could launch their Kickstarter. And I started doing some more animations for Garrett for the sliders that he showed me when we were together. And I whipped up some kind of fake gummy things. I had a worst call ever. I think I left a note there sometime around then. Some woman was like really mad that I was like asking questions about what she wanted. And yeah, we obviously did not do that project. Timberland picking up big time now, working on some lighting tests, or also the health company doing some like pill design. And then there was some Happy Droid. And then it came time to actually go to Philadelphia, run the 5K, and to no surprise, Kevin and Connor, who are in much better shape than I am, won. And there's my wife reacting to the tattoo I got. It's all good. She loves it, I think. I hope. Anyways, working on more Happy Droid stuff. Kind of decided we need to design the head a little bit more, all the while wrapping up some Timberland. These are some like preview animations. And I guess now we finally delivered the puzzle to Nate and Damien. And here we have on the left some more preview animations from the Timberland project. You can see those whole ones on my Instagram. I think I've fully posted that. These are some process renders. So I don't think I was quite done with it. We're in first week of September, and seeing Cactus Lee at my local honky tonk, if you will, Sam's Town Point. Great time there. Had a little check-in with Orr. Rendered some fingers to try out different things. We posted the Fatty Pack tattoo video. It did not go viral. I still have the tattoo. Here's me translating some of the Timberland videos to French because they have a big market in Canada. So I had to make a bunch of different versions of that. Here's more Happy Droid renders showing how lovely it is to have in your home. Then another college friend of mine, Austin Wagoner, we started a project. I spoke at Georgia Tech. That previous thing was another Timberland video that is not really fully done yet, so I won't share any more of that. And poker night at my place, a couple Happy Droid check-ins. Then we went to Rome. We were supposed to go to Rome for our honeymoon, but it was COVID, so we went to Rome this year. And we also we flew to Rome and then went to Florence Cinque Terre, and where else did we go? Tuscany. Had some wine, pasta. What the hell else did you think we were going to do? Had a great time, though. This is a rock I found. I was really obsessed with slow motion for some reason this day. There's me at the Duomo. We're supposed to go in there. There's David. Tall dude. Very impressive. We watched the Bills game last night in Rome, which was kind of silly, but Masterforge Kickstarter finally did launch, and it completed at like a bunch of 1,000% funded, and we're still catching up on orders for that. But then New Era had reached out, I think, while we were in Rome. We did a little pitch graphics. There was my brother Miles for my buddy Hunter, so he could like throw some graphics into the Figma to see if they liked it. Then I went to ACL, Austin City Limits Music Festival, with my Fatty Pack co-founder Connor. Then New Era liked the renders we did, so we were like approved to go ahead and like start that project. So they sent me some hats. There were, I think, 7 versions. Thank you to Nickel 3D, for helping me out starting this project off with some like base meshes and stuff. He was a good guy to bounce some ideas off of. Finally got around to using my 3D scanner, this Miraco RevoPoint. They actually sent it to me for free. I've never mentioned it, but here's the mention. And did some 3D scanning. Then I got coffee with a local designer guy, Bo. Went and saw some Halloween themed music. Saw Cactus Lee again at Sam's Town Point, but also my friend Sean was there. And Austin, they play in the Nude Party band, and they come to Austin, play a lot as well. So always good to see them, especially at the local bar. And this must have been a pretty chill time. Not a whole lot going on. Got some, okay, so yeah, a guy had reached out about doing some wine renders, did those. Talked to Nate and Damien about another puzzle they're launching. Still working on Happy Droid. Still 3D scanning hats. Getting a little closer. Building some textures on my own. This is probably the most advanced like texturing project I've ever done. The New Era hats. My wife made some really dank pumpkin bread. I tried to turn it into like a thing. Also 3D scanned the pumpkin bread because I was like, I should do this more often, like sell these models, but obviously I didn't do that. And then I just delivered like a crap ton of renders for New Era of all these different styles. I think most of these are live somewhere on the website. We only did one animation. The bulk of the project was just, all those still renders. More Fatty Pack, design videos, that time for Yeti. There we are in Nickel City, watching the Bills probably win. Then I drove to Dallas. I got my bamboo printer. Thanks, Caracorder. Thanks, Riley. We did QuarterCon, which was the Caracorder conference where we sort of announced new products. And Caracorder 2, which this is what the animation is for that, we launched at that. And we also talked about the Masterforge and a lot of the other things going on. So shout out to the whole Caracorder team for a great QuarterCon. We started doing some head renders for the header, no pun intended, of the Happy Droid website. And I 3D printed my first Benchy. That's what that was. And Thanksgiving, made a huge dinner for just the two of us. Kind of just cooked all day, but hey, it's kind of fun. Here I am, December 1st, I think, putting up Christmas lights and Wingcard, a company that I had previously kind of served as a creative director, a small team. We finally kind of shut things down, RIP, in December. I had a chat with my buddy Alex Lang, who used to work for Liquid Death, about another company, Rotten. They wanted some 3D stuff. Rotten does gummies. They're pretty dank. They sent me some samples. They were delicious, and they also sent me some t-shirts. I went to a creative happy hour holiday party because, there's no holiday party when you're a freelancer. My wife was also having a holiday party for her event, so I 3D printed her some earrings and painted those. Chris, a guy who I had previously had a consulting call with, had a project with a company to do like models of, I'll show you later. But the Happy Droid site finally launched. I bought this toy from Jess Weissman on Instagram. Well, that's where like she's popular right now as far as I know. Did some more of these renders for the wine thing. Went bowling, saw this painting in St. Elmo Brewing, and absolutely fell in love with it. I did end up buying it a month or two later. I had to convince Caitlin that I really needed it. Here we are, Christmas. We're not very good at decorating cookies, but we did make a delicious dinner. Here's me printing the largest thing I've ever printed on this bamboo printer. Thanks again, Caracorder. It was like a pot thing. I haven't really done much with it, but it was kind of cool. Maybe I'll put a plant in it. And we were playing with Lyndon out in a Texas lake area. We just stayed home for Christmas. We went to a yacht rock party for New Year's. There's my friend Katie's dad. I told him I had a 3D printer. He was like, oh, can you print me doing this heart thing? I was like, totally. I still haven't done that. Sorry, I owe you that one. We pretty much were wrapping up the Sebastian cosmetics project with Chris. This is kind of what we created, just this massive set of bottles and things like that. Then I had a call with Reed Huchek, I think. Super cool dude. I just wanted to kind of talk to him. I'd been following on Instagram for a while. There's my buddy Daniel's band, Terra Cognita, playing a show. Andrew Price featured my Timberland stuff in his newsletter. This was an animation I made for Fatty Pack that went kind of viral, or I don't know, got like 5 million views or something now, which was dope. Started a mentorship with an App State student, which is where I went to school, where, in Boone, which I showed earlier. I always like to, help out the students a little bit. I finally got around to framing this poster from James Conner. This is the same as the RemCon guy. It snowed in Austin. Connor moved to town. That was him quitting his job. We kind of officially closed up the New Era project. Jamie Brennan is a random guy that messaged me on Instagram. He was like, "Hey, do you have time to talk?" And I was just like down. Those are the people from The Bachelor. They were just in Austin, and I snapped a picture of them. Kind of had to. Loopspeed, the company that my Wing co-founders do, brought me in to start doing more web stuff with them. We're kind of all in process on that now. I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it, but a med tech project with Jason Cooper, who had previously, I actually did the Rewind project at the beginning of the video with him, but we're actually working on that project now, so I'm not going to share much more of that, but it's like a cool thing. And then I kicked out this project with Range, Energy, and Hunter. Hunter is the same guy that I did the New Era project with, and some other projects in the past too. But this was kind of a big lift. We did a lot of renders. That one looked to Lion King, so we were doing versions of this. Also at the same time, Timberland, starting a new project with them for the Intercept Athletic Work Shoe. That's mostly finished, but not quite. Here's Valentine's Day. Made this awesome animation of Fatty Packs kissing because, why not? Making some more progress on Timberland, doing more Fatty Pack design videos, more Timberland, more boxes, more Range, showing how it installs. Basically, it's like this, they don't sell trailers, but they make things to make your trailer sort of drive itself. Then I made this little CapCut video of me making a banana holder. That video for Patty Pack went kind of viral. Had a lot of fun responding to comments. Oh boy, this is busy. I am busy currently. Happy Droid finished up. More Range stuff. I did some gummies for this woman who wanted gummies. Lyndon's birthday. Gave her eggs and bananas and peanut butter. More Range stuff. More Timberland stuff. More Fatty Pack stuff. There's a theme here. There's a lot of Fatty Pack stuff. More Range stuff. New puzzle with Nate and Damien. Currently working on that. Probably will launch in, less than a month. Met up with Chapman Bullock, who has Proper Studio. He's like a local 3D guy. Pretty sick dude. We were supposed to go to a party, but got way too busy with Range stuff. So I'm kind of mad about that, but I did not get to go to the Preacher party for South by Southwest, which Chapman invited me to. I'm sorry, Chapman. I was really bummed about that. Doing more work with Timberland and the Intercept shoe. We hit 10K followers on Fatty Pack. That was pretty fantastic. Very excited about that. We grew pretty quickly, but we honestly put in like a ton of hours, so it's not totally surprising. We switched to green at some point for Range because we were worried things were going to be fiery. Around now, I delivered the Timberland Intercept videos, but it's not fully launched, so I didn't want to show you the whole thing. Started working on a music video for my friend Daniel's band Terra Cognita. Still working on that. Need to do that by the end of this week. And more renders for Range. Still working on Range. Oh, and then I went to DC like a week ago, and we went to this art museum, and it was gorgeous. We also went to Baltimore. We got pictures of cherry blossoms, and then we flew back to Austin, Glenstone. That's what it was called, the Glenstone Art Museum. Then I did this, it's like the first personal project I did in years. I did this Render Weekly challenge on Instagram to design some shell pasta. I didn't really design the shell because it's the Eames shell, but I made all these animations. Then I had real live macaroni the next day with broccoli and chicken, though, a little healthier. Timberland reached back out there like, hey, can you actually render that with Noto? And I found out there's birds in my backyard making that nest. And now that's me starting to make this video, which I'm recording right now. And I need to finish it because I'm tired. Okay, so we just watched the video, but I'm just picking up from the intro because now it's only 11:42 and I still need to get this video done. But yeah, hopefully you like that. That's like what I did. Again, did not mean to not make any videos, but I thought this would be fun, just like for my own record keeping to see like what I did. It was a very busy year. I would have liked to take it a little bit easier. I still wouldn't call myself like a hustler or anything, but it was a good year. You know, I did a lot of projects. I worked with a lot of cool people. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway here is that you have to work with people a lot. And that's something I enjoy. And I don't take it for granted, you know, the position I'm in to be able to do all these projects and make money, which I'll pause right there and tell you the number you've all been waiting for. And precursor, this is not a flex or anything. If I was in a watcher's position, I would just be curious. And you know, you can be your own boss. Like, I'm not a crazy hustler person. I've done a lot of work to kind of get myself to this point. But anyways, I made $164,120.96 in those last 365 days. That's the amount of money that hit my bank account. So some of the projects that you saw towards the end of the video, I have not been paid for yet. And some of the money that came in during that period were projects that I completed for the most part before the April 9th date that I posted the hot sauce tutorial. So that is the total amount of money that I made. And that comes from mostly freelance work, but it should not be understated that a lot of that also came from things like Skillshare, Patreon, and YouTube, just because I have a lot of videos on YouTube. I get a little bit of money every month for that. It's not a ton. I would say the bulk of the money came from the Skillshare course that's still relatively fresh and made a decent amount of money for me last year. And yeah, I will break that. I don't want to break down each project exactly how much I made, but from Skillshare, YouTube, and Patreon, I made $43,235.96. So almost a third of that money. And that obviously doesn't come out of nowhere. I like laid down the groundwork, building up YouTube channel and stuff to get to that point. But yeah, it goes to show, you know, I still made over $100,000 doing freelance work alone, but that number is relatively inflated by a lot of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do right away. But anyways, that's about it. Also, I wanted to mention, just because I counted them, like it was a couple of weeks ago, so the number's probably actually higher from when I counted, but I also had 269 conversations in my Instagram primary inbox and 304 conversations in my Instagram secondary inbox. So if you total it all up, it's close to 600 conversations. So again, I want to bring it back to people. I talk to a lot of people. I love talking to people. It's really important. It's, I think, what has gotten me to where I am is just a willingness to talk and work with people. So I'd encourage anyone who's looking to grow their own career or just be a good person, you need to talk to other people. And that's sort of my parting thought there. But thank you for watching. If you watched, I'm not really sure what I'll do next, but hopefully some tutorials, maybe some breakdowns of all those projects. Let me know in the comments what you're particularly interested in. I know it was like a ton of crap in that video, but it's kind of fun just to dump it all out there. And I hope you enjoyed. But I really need to wrap this up because I think the video is going to take longer than 14 minutes to upload, so I'm probably already going to be late. But with that, I'll see you later. Thanks for being here.